Ladies and gentlemen, Behind the Line proudly presents to you another exciting edition of the Woke! Turning on the Woke! This episode is brought to you by Woke Memorial Hospital. Are you a man aspiring to be a woman looking for the perfect surgeon for that courageous transition? Are you a parishioner at Woke United Methodist who has just taken that first step to be baptized and born again, and you need the required injection of the woke fungus? These are services that you can't get from your typical MD. You can only get these from Woke Memorial from Jill Biden PD. Pretend Dr. Jill is a world-renowned fake physician who specializes in services that normal people do not need. From appendage removal to injections to world-class boodle inspections, Woke Memorial Hospital has the services that you need. Book your appointment today at wokememorial.wum. You know, there appears to be a lot of conflict. There appears to be internal strife at the residence formerly known as the White House. As you guys know, due to the standards of diversity, equity, and inclusion, it is no longer proper or acceptable to refer to it as the White House. We must now refer to it as the Palace of Rainbows. There seems to be a lot of infighting between the leader of the cackling choir and our former fearless leader, Johnny B. Biden, which is rather strange because I don't think Cam Harris has even been at the White House in over 2 months. Since early August, Cam has been traveling around the country on her climate-friendly bus, speaking in front of half-empty playgrounds and nursing homes where the patients are required to attend. Cam has been traveling around the country telling dozens and dozens of people about her plan to save America. What is Cam's brilliant plan? What is her strategy? Hell if I know, nobody knows. The plan is so confidential, not even Cam Harris knows what she is supposed to do. The only directives that she has been given is smile and laugh on command when you have forgotten the scripted answer to a previously agreed upon question. Which means Cam Harris has spent the last 10 or so weeks laughing nonstop. Not only does there appear to be conflict between Cam Harris and John Biden, there also seems to be conflict amongst their staffers. And if you believe these reports, the conflict between Cammy and Johnny B's staffers, it has gotten so bad that they are potentially assaulting each other with Don's lemons. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Going into the sponsor for today's video, my friends over at Saving America. I cannot tell you how many times I have been asked, KC, how do you know so much about the media and the woke agenda? Answer is simple. This is all I have to do. While you guys are working, I am watching clips of the wicked weeb Joy Reid flying her broom around her studio. This is what I choose to do for a living, but the vast majority of people don't have that luxury, which unfortunately means the vast majority of Americans are uninformed when it comes to the potential destruction of their country. But what have I told you? There was a way to learn all of this while having fun with your family at the same time. That's the primary idea behind Saving America, the card game. Saving America comes with 54 cards that represent 54 internal threats to the country. Gameplay, simple to understand. It's a standardized deck of cards and you can play spades, poker, gin, whatever the hell you want. Only difference is, each card has a specific threat to the country, and the game teaches you how to peacefully resolve it. This game is specifically designed to teach taxpayers, potential voters, entrepreneurs, busy people. Hell, basically, it is designed to teach normal people about the threats that America is facing. This game is great for nights with friends or fighting against the indoctrination that your children receive at school by teaching them what's actually going on in America. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code GOKC, G-O-K-C. Save 10% off your purchase with Saving America. All right, full transparency here. I could not confirm or deny whether or not what I'm about to tell you is true. I couldn't find this reported in the mainstream media, but to be perfectly honest with you, That doesn't mean shit to me because I don't trust the wanker spankers in the mainstream media. This report is coming directly from someone named Jack Poso. Jack is the senior editor at Human Events. Well, KC, what the hell is Human Events? I have no idea. I'm assuming it's maybe a conservative media outlet. According to his Twitter bio, Jack Poso is a former intel officer in the Navy, which in my eyes, that fact alone automatically gives him more credibility than 90% of the people in the mainstream media. He's also a New York Times best-selling author and a proud Catholic. Now, that last point obviously means Jack is not a proud deacon at Woke United Methodist. Now, according to Jack Poso, there was a physical altercation last week between staffers working for pretend Dr. Jill Biden, which I would assume they would be classified as PNs, pretend nurses, and staffers belonging to Cam Harris, which I would assume would be the backup cacklers in the cackling choir. For weeks now, Cam Harris has kind of been trying to distance herself from Johnny B. Biden. It's been a half-assed attempt, depending on the situation. Sometimes Cam is proud to be associated with Johnny B. Other times, she is ashamed that her incompetence is compared to his incompetence. Supposedly, the reason for this alleged altercation is that Cam Harris staffers, they believe that the Biden family is undermining their Lord and risen queen. Now, I'm wondering if this press conference was the flute that broke the cackler's back. This is our former fearless leader last Friday, Johnny B. Biden. Roll the clip.
Can you talk about how your vice president, who is running for the presidency, has worked on these crises and what role she has played over the past several days?
I'm in constant contact with her. She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet. She helped pass all the laws that are being employed now. She was a major player in everything we've done, including passage of legislation which we were told we could never pass. And so she's been, and her staff is interlocked with mine in terms of all the things we're doing.
Is Johnny B. Biden a fan of this channel? Has Grandpa John been watching Uncle KC? Did he just say that he and Cam Harris are singing from the same song sheet? Johnny B., are you trying to steal my jokes? Last week, Cam Harris, she was absolutely destroyed for the lack of response to Hurricane Helene. I'm guessing that she tried to distance herself from this reactionary disaster to an actual disaster, but no matter how fast Commander Cam tried to run away from being associated to this problem, John Biden, he pulled her right back in. Even at his advanced age, John Biden, he was still fast enough to catch Cam Harris and associate her with this complete lack of response to Hurricane Helene. I guess Commander Cam staffers got mad, causing them to allegedly get into a physical altercation with pretend nurses who work for pretend Dr. Jill. Now, whether or not that story is true, I don't know. Do I think there was actually a physical altercation at the White House last week? I mean, even though both sides are absolutely incompetent, I still find that very hard to believe. However, I do believe there is conflict. I do believe that the Bidens are pissed off with Cam Harris, mainly pretend Dr. Jill. I don't know if John Biden has the acuity to be pissed off or to stay pissed off for very long. He might be mad for a second, then he sees a butterfly and follows it into the meadow. But I think pretend Dr. Jill is very pissed off with Cam Harris. Think about it. Just think about it. It is no secret that the pretend doctor, she relished being the first lady. It's no secret that Jill Biden thoroughly enjoyed the benefits of spending money that was not hers. For the first time in her life, she no longer had to pretend. She didn't have to pretend to be a doctor in order to gain status. She didn't have to pretend to be wealthy. For the first time in her life, Jill Biden felt important. Just think about how hard that had to be to relinquish. Think about how hard it had to be to let go of that lifestyle. Not only did pretend Dr. Jill have to let go of it, she was forced into doing so. And there really wasn't a damn thing she could do about it. It took Jill Biden almost 70 years to obtain some level of mainstream status. For most of her adult life, she has been married to the laughingstock of Washington, D.C. It has been reported countless times that Barack Obama he would ruthlessly make fun of John Biden. Remember that famous quote from Barry Obama? Joe Biden has this unique ability to fuck everything up. John Biden has never really been respected. Now, that does not mean that people don't like him. I'm sure Joe Biden was fun at parties. I'm sure he's fun to be around. But when it came down to business, when it came down to getting things done, people were not relying on John Biden. He was a senator from a state that most people forget exists. Most people have forgotten that he was even vice president. Barack Obama pretty much kept him hidden. Fast forward, though, to 2020. John Biden gets elected. For the first time, possibly ever, Jill Biden finally has status. She finally has power. Two things that are incredibly difficult to let go of for anyone, much less someone who has spent their entire life trying to obtain them, and they finally do at 69 years old. And what happens 3.5 years later? It's all taken away by the leader of the cackling choir. It's all taken away by a politician whose only discernible skill is her ability to laugh on command. That has got to be devastating for Jill Biden. There's not a doubt in my mind, Jill Biden is pissed off about it. I would not be surprised if she is doing everything she can to subtly undermine Cam Harris. If there is one thing I have learned in my 39 years on this earth, if there is one thing I have learned through 39 years of relationships, you don't want to piss off a woman. You don't want to scorn a woman. I'm sure Joe Biden was pissed off when he was essentially pushed out of office, but for the most part, men, we tend to get over things quickly. Maybe Joe Biden was mad for a week, perhaps he was even pissed off for 2 weeks, but eventually, I would imagine that Joe Biden looked out the window of the White House one day and said, this ain't so bad. Now I can go back to my Delaware dungeon and continue playing Dungeons and Dragons with my good friends Gus and Gomez. But if you do a woman dirty like what Cam Harris did with Jill Biden, she will never forget about it. One thing women can do a hell of a lot better than men can, hold a grudge. I'd be willing to bet John Biden, he moved on from this weeks ago, and Jill Biden is still actively plotting her revenge. That's just my personal theory. What do you think? Do you think Biden and Harris staffers were involved in a physical altercation last week? Me personally, I find it hard to believe, but I definitely believe there is some internal strife here. I definitely believe that Jill Biden is trying to undermine Cam Harris. Now, the good news is all of this is great for the Trumper, and I got to give credit to the Trumper. Maybe he watches this channel too because he is doing exactly what he should be doing. Nothing. He is standing by in the shadows and he's letting the Democrats destroy themselves. Give me your thoughts on this. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.